Hello YouTube world, this is Linda. Thank you for joining me today. As promised during my last video, I am going to be sharing my stitching progress. And so this is my first floss tube ever. And let's go ahead and get started. So I've got some stitching that I've done and also some slow stitching and a finished runner. So this has to do with the different seasons, so it's related to that. And I know it's springtime, but if you're like me, I like to do seasonal things all throughout the year. So here we go. So what I have to share with you today is, the first thing I have to share with you today is this pumpkin. And this is from the Prairie Schooler. The pattern is from the Prairie Schooler, and this is the cover of the patterns. And so I first saw this pattern on Always in Stitches, and so they're a real good company. They do post videos of any new things that they have, and they also have a floss tube. So I just love the different designs, and so I decided to start with something super simple. And this is the second stitching project that I've attempted. The first one is still not finished, and so there was a recommendation to go ahead and do this kit, that it was great for beginners, but the problem is that there's so many different colors that you have to switch out, that it's taking me forever to get it done. And so I started to do this one, and I'm glad I started with the other one before I started with this one. And I actually got the fabric from Always in Stitches. I ordered it from there, and let me see if I've got the type of material. So this is pumpkin 32 count Lugana. So that's from Always in Stitches in Noblesville, Indiana. And so it took me a while because it was only my second project ever. So I'm sure there's errors here and there, but I don't care because I'm very happy with it. And I did have to take out the stitches 2 or 3 times because the stitches are kind of small, and it was hard for me to see. So, but I got it done, and I'm really happy with it. I did things a little bit differently than what it called for, and one of the things was the base here at the bottom. And instead of putting cardboard, because I don't like to use cardboard, if I can avoid it in case it gets wet, that might warp the cardboard. So I opted for just a small piece of plastic, and so I cut it out to the shape that I needed. And then, I also did add something to make this surface a little bit stiffer and easier to work with when it came to putting the base on. And I didn't put any weights on it. I did stuff it. I had stuffed it with just some polyfill, but then I was watching another floss tuber, and they used cotton. So I thought that would be a good option for me. So I ordered this material, and it's cone cotton. I ordered this on Amazon, and I just like the feel of it, and I think it worked out really well. So I'm glad I made that switch, even though I had already stuffed it in and sewn it up. But the other thing I did differently, I did do the stitches all the way around here with a blanket stitch, and that wasn't difficult to do at all. And then I had done a blanket stitch here at the bottom, but I didn't like the way that looked. So I ended up using just a different colored floss, one that was more, one that was similar to the color of the fabric. And this is medium mahogany, DMC 301. And so that worked out a lot better, I think, in the overall look. And for the finishing at the top, I had this old piece of wire that, I always save things. I save itty bitty things because I might be able to use them in a project. So I ended up adding that. This is wool, and this is my pattern book, and I'll show you a little bit. This sticker's from Intrepid Thread, and they're a great company. I've also ordered some stuff from them. Great customer service. But, oops, that's the wrong pattern. Okay, so this is just a little knitting. It's called a knitter's notebook, but I decided to make it into a book of my patterns. And I got this at Dollar Tree when things were still $1. And so I got several, but I really like it because it has a grid and a place to make notes. But anyway, so the way I did the pumpkin leaf, I just looked at an image of, a pumpkin with the leaves on it, and just quickly did a sketch. So I sketched it out. Then I used pinking shears to cut it out. And I did two, one for the front and one for the back. And this wool, I believe I ordered, it's from Moda, and I believe I ordered it from Amazon. And then on the back, then the reason I did it with, the two leaves, one in front, one in back, was that I could always just display this without the cross stitch on the surface, because I think it'll make a nice transition into fall. And you can switch it to Halloween and then finish it up for the fall. So then I went ahead and just drew out a stem, cut it out, and yeah, the only thing that I'm missing is, labeling maybe with my initials and the year, but I'll do that next time. So the things that I'll do differently next time, I'll go ahead and maybe use some acrylic for the bottom that's thicker and will lie flatter. And I think I'll, do the initials. And I think that would be it as far as things that I would do differently for the next one. But I really look forward to working with the others. And as you can see in the image in the book, it does have the wire as I have, and it does have the stem, but it doesn't have the leaves on there. So that's something that I just added, and that's what's fun about using these patterns, that you can switch it up any way you want to. Okay, so that's my first finished stitch ever. So it's not perfect, but I really, really enjoyed making it, and I'll have fun displaying it. Okay, so that's the first item I wanted to share with you. The second item I wanted to share with you is this other seasonal item. And this came just from a fabric panel. But this is like my slow stitching. So I added some vintage fabric. In fact, this was from my grandmother's stash. And I think it's really cute. Added some vintage buttons. Cut out all the individual pieces. And it's just really bright and colorful. And it's just a beautiful, beautiful wall hanging. And I just enjoy putting it up and looking at it. And I was able to do that this year. What I would do differently, I think I would use some fusible web, especially at the top maybe, so that when I hang it, it has a little bit more structure at the top. And then, sorry. And then I think I would, oh, sorry about that. Um, I think I would just stitch this the way it is, but I think if I have some fusible web, um, that would create more of a structure at the top, then I think it would hang nicely. Right now, what I'm doing is I'm going to go ahead and put in some plastic mesh here just to give it more structure whenever I hang it. But that's what I would do differently um, in the future. I also went along all the edges and used pinking shears. Now these are the ones that have a little scallop on them. So I used that all along all the edges because when I finished it, I felt it needed something else. And then of course I hand stitched all around the outlines, the main outlines of the figure. So I have another panel of this same one. So I don't know if I'm going to go ahead and keep that or maybe put it up for sale on eBay, but it was fun making it. Okay, and then the last project I have to share with you is, and I've shown pictures of this on Instagram, work in progress, and on YouTube, I believe. But I finally finished this runner, and I used it this Christmas time, and I really enjoyed making it. And runners are really great because they're kind of quick to make. So, piecing it was a lot of fun. And I got the inspiration to piece it from a runner that I had bought. And I bought it, I thrifted that runner. And it was such a beautiful runner. And I was so inspired by the pattern. I felt that it was an easy pattern to do. And so I started to sketch it out. And so I'll go back to my pattern book. Yeah, okay. And so I sketched out the whole pattern as I saw it. And I had a charm pack called Merry Little Christmas. That's what I used. Bonnie Camille by Moda. And it was 100% cotton, 42 squares, each of them 5 inches, paid $10.95 for it. And I purchased this in November of 22. So I was able to use the runner in Christmas of 2024. So it took me quite a while. But the reason I'm showing you the sketch was that I ended up, as I worked with it, as I sketched it out, it just so happened coincidentally that I was watching the sewing studio on YouTube, and they had a 9-patch tutorial. And so I realized that that was a part of a 9-patch tutorial, but it was a disappearing 9-patch. So I wrote that in my notes. Okay, so the pattern is a disappearing 9-patch, and just a lot of fun. I also made sure that I used, something that would go with the fabric. And so this is from the same line, but it's a different kind of fabric. And so it has kind of like a weave to it, but I think it worked out well. And it's not perfect, of course, but if you're going to wait for perfection, you might never get anything done. So I'm just really, really happy with the projects that I made. Now, given that, I did want to share with you, that was my second quilted object that I've ever made. I made this other panel, and it's a sampler panel, right? And I made this many years ago. I would say about maybe 15 years ago. And I took a class, and so I learned about, how to get your corners mitered and so forth. And the only thing I did was I used whatever I had on hand for the backing. And so just recently I came across another quilt. Whenever I come across quilts and they're affordable for me, I'll go ahead and buy it. But I found this quilt, and it has to do, you know, kind of with a farm scene and a tractor and so forth. My parents have a ranch out west, and from here, and I just, you know, just loved it. But I thought it was very, I guess, insightful of the person that made this quilt, this quilter, to include this beautiful backing. And so you have a summer design on one side, but on the other side, you have something that could be used during the fall season. So I thought that was very, very uh, smart to have something that's related to one season, like maybe the summer or the spring, and then, you know, you can switch it around, especially if you display them, because I mainly display the quilts. I do use them, but things that are smaller panels, I do like to display them around the house for each of the seasons. So I do collect them, and I just thought it was very, very smart to use a beautiful fabric for the backing, because that way you can just switch it around and you know, apply it to a different season, so it will transition with your decor. So just wanted to share that with you. Okay, everyone. So thank you for watching, and enjoyed sharing my happy place and things that I've done that make me happy. And I hope that you have some time today to spend in your own happy place. All right, take care. We'll see you soon.